I readjusted my expectations.
You good?
I'm not that.
I'll wait. Yeah, I'm gonna wait until he comes.
I refused to buy. I did.
I'm sorry. No, I know it's not all. Oh, here comes one. I don't know why. You take the cake.
What's this?
It's a cake for you.
You're gonna hand out 3.
Very nice.
Oh.
Yep. Hand out the light. You want me to pause it? When you start?
He was Zermis, Township Clerk, and M. Cucci, CFO. Upcoming meetings, July 14th, 2015 at 7:30 p.m. Agenda meeting, July 21st, 2015 at 7:30 p.m. Regular meeting. Presentations. Mayor?
Coach Greg Cleary, you come up. I'm not going to sing, so don't worry. But this is short. Okay, here we go. Going to come up. I'm going to read a proclamation first before we hand out all the certificates. Got to come up now.
You got to come up.
I hope you guys pay better attention than he does, because that's what you do. You won. So, this is a proclamation from the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills. Whereas Parsippany is a township. I am.
Sometimes it needs to warm up. Just need to bring it closer.
Lee, is that better? Okay, Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills proclamation. Whereas Parsippany is a township filled with excitement and spirit because the Parsippany High School girls softball team has had an outstanding 2015 season and has won the 2015 NJAC Liberty Division Conference title, the school's first such title since 1991. And whereas, in addition, the team has captured the 2015 North 2 Group 2 State Sectional Championship, the first section title for the softball program since 1986. Congratulations. Whereas excellent success in competitive sports can be achieved only through strenuous practice, teamwork, and a dedicated coaching staff, it is important to recognize these young women who, by achieving outstanding success in athletic competition, have inspired and brought pride to Parsippany. And whereas the recognition and celebration of our championship team serve to bring our community together in honoring our students and their coaches for a phenomenal softball season, resulting in an outstanding record of 24-6, with the second most wins in program history and the only team to win a state section title in Morris County this season. And whereas by achieving outstanding success in athletic competition, the Parsippany High School Redhawks are ranked number 3 in the state for Group 2 schools by the Star-Ledger. And whereas these achievements could not have been reached without the leadership of the coaches and the encouragement of the players, parents who together instilled in them the value of teamwork, imparted in them the desire for success, and helped them to develop a sense of fair play and competition. Now therefore, I, James R. Barbera, the Mayor of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills, to hereby proclaim June 16, 2015 as Parsippany High School Girls Softball Team Day, and hereby extend our expression of pride to the team on their impressive record and many successes in 2015. I further encourage all Parsippany citizens to acknowledge the achievements made by the PHS Redhawks Girls Softball Team and thank them for representing Parsippany as well as the highest ideals of a high school softball program. This is for you, Coach. But before I hand out the certificates, I want to tell you something. This has been a great year for Parsippany, and I want to thank you, ladies, for keeping the pride in Parsippany alive and well. It means a lot to us. I can tell you, I was with Ann. I'm constantly messaging her on Facebook when you guys are playing. She's letting me know the scores. You have Vince, you have Greg, you have everybody that's here. And I have to tell you, I'm so excited for you guys, and you did a great job. We have certificates we're going to hand out, so I'm going to call down the council members. I'll hand out the first 3 because they're from coaches. I'll read the first one because they pretty much say the same thing. The Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills Outstanding Achievement Award presented to Gregory Cleary, Coach, Parsippany High School 2015 Girls Softball Team. Come get your certificate. don't crop you out. All right.
Then I should.
Stephanie Fasano. There we go. I have to give this one out. This gentleman was my gym teacher back in 1979. And he hasn't aged. I can't believe it. Very good man. He's achieved so many things in Parsippany. And I have to tell you, when I went to Parsippany Hills High School, he was the teacher there. And, of course, everybody loved Fred Piotrowski, and I'm sure everybody still does. So, Mr. Piotrowski, I can't call you Fred. Here we go. I definitely want to.
I'm sorry.
Still look the same. God bless you. What are you doing? And Councilman Brian Stanton.
How are you? Congratulations to all. Graduate in 1990 from Parsippany. Louisiana Barone. Angelica Link. Kayla Migliazza. I can know that.
So different. In a good way.
I just have to say, I graduated from Parsippany Hills in 1984, and I haven't seen. We called him Pio, and if he's not the best, he's definitely one of the best wrestling coaches that this state has ever had. I can tell you that. Victoria Rossi. Claudia Bennett. Olivia Mikuro.
Make sure she got it there. So I'm opening up.
Well, it's an honor to present these awards today. You know, I'd like to thank the coaches, the students that participated, the team members, but also the families. It takes a lot to have your children involved in sports today, and it takes a lot of time out of your calendar. So as a graduate from Parsippany High School as well, congratulations, ladies. We have some awards today. We have Nicole Ruggiero. We have Sarah Wapenfeld. And we have Caitlin Brennan. Thank you.
And I would like to congratulate the team and the coaches also. Great year. Congratulations. Alyssa Fiola. Veronica Shaw. And Autumn Foley.
Have two more. Megan Leitner. Sitting all alone over there, so. Julia Del Vecchio. Excellent. Congratulations. I want to congratulate the Parsippany High School softball team once again. But we're not done yet. Well, not yet. You know what? You might have to first.
Coaches too. Why don't you go on the back?
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
I'll get in the middle.
I'm going up there with Denver.
Anyone over 5'2", I'm done.
Frame. Get the picture? Greg? Get the picture?
Okay, now we have one more.
Wait for Nick in the back, too. You gotta wait for Nick in the back, too. Joe's going for workman's comp.
Okay, let's go. So we have to get the coach here. Come down, coaches.
Here, you want to take it out?
Yeah,
I'll drop it there.
What is it?
Oh, they took all the calories out. Don't worry.
Yeah, I would leave it on there.
You want to leave it?
You can afford it.
And I'll bring it.
All right. All right, so who plays third base?
You putting it back on again?
All right, that was I played for Parsippany High School. Third base.
First
Yep.
base. First base. First base.
Third base? No, third base. Catch it. Shortstop. Oh, I had all the bases. This is me
Okay, so we're going to let the coach cakes. And next year. I hope so.
Get yourself together.
this one. Most hated man in Parsippany.
When do I want to make my statement?
Okay, when we do the introduction of the budget itself.
Yeah, that's the one I'm looking for.
Not for you.
We're doing it by title.
There's coffee, cake, cookies outside, so feel free.
I'm sorry.
Entertain a motion to take a 5-minute break.
Second.
All right, motion made by Mr. Stanton, seconded by Mr. Peluso. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay?
Congratulations.
We're on.
Okay.
Make a motion to reconvene into open session.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Stanton, seconded by Mr. Peluso. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, do it me.
Okay, at this time, we'll be going into closed session.
Council President, can we delay this until after? Is there something we have to vote on?
No, the
What's that?
The closed session. Can't we delay the closed session until the end of the meeting?
You can. There were going to be two. The first one was going to be extremely brief. And
No, the point is there something we have to vote on that we need to go into regarding closed session?
it's not a vote. It's that my partner Dennis Driscoll needs to be in, and he's here now. We can make him wait till the end of the meeting, but it's up to you.
I don't want to wait.
Mr. Inglesino,
Yeah,
do
we
we
don't-
have a quorum also to go into closed session for this?
Well, you have a quorum to make the motion to go into closed session.
But regarding the topic, do we have a quorum?
No, you probably won't. You probably won't. There's no action. It's advisory. There's no action that's being taken.
Okay, so
Yeah, you kind of have to keep the doors open.
Tell them to keep it quiet.
we'll wait until the doors are taken care of.
Let's see, June, July. They did. They forgot to put the filling. They didn't. There's no filling in there. I said, Ellen's trying to convince me there's lemon. I said, no. And then I said, let me open it up. I said, you're right.
Oh my God.
But that was a good, almost like a lemon ganache.
Yancy,
That is hysterical.
uh,
We're going to get a free cake.
are the mics picking up right now? Even though we have waste crowd in the background?
They're very sensitive. They pick up.
Okay, great. Just to reinstate my question, Mr. Inglesino, do we have a quorum regarding this topic that we can go into closed session?
Well, you'll have a quorum of people to vote to go into closed session. The closed session is very brief. It's advisory. It'll be conducted by Mr. Driscoll. That's it.
So we don't need a quorum
You
regarding this
don't
topic?
need a quorum if you're
No,
not
you're not
voting.
taking any action.
No action is being taken?
No action
Okay,
is being taken.
thank you.
Okay, resolution, whereas the Open Publics Meetings Act, Public Law 1975, Chapter 231 permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances, and whereas the Township Council is of the opinion that such circumstances presently exist, and whereas the Township Council wishes to discuss attorney-client privilege and the following litigation matter, Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills versus James Carriffy, and whereas minutes will be kept, and once the matter involving the confidentiality of the above no longer requires confidentiality, the minutes can be made public. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills that the public be excluded from this meeting.
Second.
Motion to adjourn by myself, seconded by Mr. Stanton. Roll call.
Mr. DePiero.
Yes.
Mr. Peluso.
Yes.
Mr. Stanton.
Yes.
Mr. Carriffy.
Yes.
We're recording.
Make a motion to reconvene into open session.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Stanton, seconded by Mr. Peluso. Roll call.
Mr. DePiero.
Yes.
Mr. Peluso.
Yes.
Mr. Stanton. Mr. Carriffy.
Yes. Bids to be taken July 1st, 2015, 11 a.m. Seal proposals for the FEMA House Elevation Project, Phase 6, rebid. Request for quotations, proposals, qualifications, none. Ordinances, second reading and public hearing. Ordinance 2015:08. Mr. DePiero?
Ordinance 2015:08, an ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills, County of Morris, State of New Jersey, to create sections 354-11.1, sale of mulch and landscaping materials, and A 445-44.1, mulch and landscaping materials of the Township Code. The notice for the ordinance above was published in the Daily Record, the official newspaper of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills, on May 27, 2015. Motion to accept that ordinance.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. DePiero, seconded by Mr. Paluso. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, at this time, entertain a motion to open up the public hearing on this ordinance and this ordinance only.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. DePiero, seconded by Mr. Paluso. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
3 minutes.
Okay, please state your name and address when you come up. You'll be given 3 minutes.
Pat Pataccia, 182 Hawkins Avenue. I'm just going to question where we're getting this mulch from. Only because the mulch that's put out for free over here between the Empire Diner, I had questioned that one year when we ordered mulch, and I asked about why don't we use that, and they say because it's really not that great. What are we going to be selling to town? What's, exactly where's it coming from and what have you?
I mean, Greg is here and he can answer that
Can you just-
perfectly. Greg, you want to just come?
What we're doing now...
You just
Just speak into the
Go
mic.
to the microphone.
Excuse me, I'm the Director of Public Works.
Good thing you were here.
Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, I'll talk to both
You
of
can take it out.
You take it out.
Pat and everybody else. What we're doing is we have been making mulch now for the last 3 or 4 years. It's not final mulch. In other words, we're just screening it one time. But this is all the material that we get from the leaves and everything, part of my operation, also combined with Jimmy's in Parks and Forestry. So what we have to do here is we come up with a product that's a little bit better, which we anticipate doing very shortly. We're working on that and been working closely with the business administrator, Ellen, and so forth. And we'll have, again, this is not being launched in 2 weeks. It's going to be a little time yet. But our intent here is for landscapers to be used this material and so forth and so on. Maybe we can recoup some of our stuff and so forth. That help you out a little bit? Great.
And again,
Thank
just so you hear it, the positive thing is instead of Greg having it pulled out and pay for it to be taken away, it'll be taken away for that's where we make the money. That's where the savings have come in. Right.
Okay, see no one else come forward. I entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Paluso, seconded by Mr. DePiero. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Whereas the above ordinance was read in title on second reading and a hearing held thereon, now therefore be it resolved that said ordinance be passed on final reading, and that a notice of final passage of said ordinance be published in the newspaper according to law. Motion to approve the resolution.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. DePiero, seconded by Mr. Paluso. Roll call.
Mr. DePiero.
Yes.
Mr. Paluso.
Yes.
Mr. Stanton.
Yes.
Mr. Karifi.
Yes. Ordinance 2015:09. Mr. Paluso.
An ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills, County of Morris, State of New Jersey, authorizing a lease agreement between the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills and Pudding Stone Community Club for recreational use. The notice of the ordinance was published in the Daily Record, the official newspaper of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills, on May 27, 2015. Motion to accept the ordinance 2015:09 to be heard in a second and final reading by title only.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Paluso, seconded by Mr. Stanton. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This time entertain a motion to open up the public hearing on this ordinance and this ordinance only. Motion made by Mr. Paluso,
Second.
seconded by Mr. DePiero. See no one come forward, I entertain a motion to close the public hearing on this ordinance.
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. DePiero, seconded by Mr. Paluso. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Whereas the above ordinance was read in title on second reading and a hearing held thereon, now therefore be it resolved that the said ordinance be passed on final reading and that a notice of final passage of said ordinance be published in the newspaper according to law. Motion to approve the resolution.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Paluso, seconded by Mr. Stanton. Roll call.
Mr. DePiero.
Yes.
Mr. Paluso.
Yes.
Mr. Stanton.
Yes.
Mr. Karifi.
Yes. Mr. Stanton.
Ordinance number 2015:10. Ordinance of the Township Council, Township Parsippany-Troy Hills, Morris County, New Jersey, creating Section 430-26, Pipelines of Dakota Township, Parsippany-Troy Hills. Notice for the ordinance was published in the Daily Record, the official newspaper of the Township Parsippany-Troy Hills, May 27, 2015.
Motion made by Mr. Stanton.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. DePiero. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? This time, entertain a motion to open up the public hearing on this ordinance and this ordinance only.
Make a motion.
Motion made by Mr. Stanton, seconded by Mr. Paluso. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
So first, in anticipation of your passing, Ken Dalsky, 21 Winfield Drive. Thank you. So in anticipation of your passing this ordinance, I want to thank you very, very much. You'll be the fourth town to do it. Parsippany will have a trifecta, as I call it. Parsippany will have a trifecta regarding the Pilgrim Pipeline with a resolution, a letter to the PSE&G, and an ordinance. And I will go off and work on other towns to have them do the same thing. I spend my summer doing that. So this will undoubtedly help us. And as more towns pass the same ordinance, should there be any kind of legal action that's involved, hopefully the towns will be able to pool financial resources and be stronger for doing that. And we're also going to work with towns in New York to do the same thing. Just quickly, I'll give you 1 minute of status on the pipeline. They have not filed for any of their permits yet. They're hoping to do it over the summer. I'm sure that the fact that PSE&G told them that they couldn't use their right-of-way is holding them up, as well as passage through the Troy Meadows area, which Anita could address. I'm told that Pilgrim is trying once again to go to PSE&G and sweeten the pot somehow to get them to change their minds. We'll wait and see what happens there. I certainly don't think PSE&G is coming out and saying that they can oppose Pilgrim is going to let them now go through the right of way. And as far as the state legislature goes, the assemblies, passed a resolution last year. It was a resolution that was put forth in the Senate. Joe Panaccio was one of the sponsors. It got kind of bottled up in a committee headed by Senator Lesniak, who refused to release it because he didn't want to put out a resolution that didn't have any teeth. It's now been moved to the Environment and Energy Committee, and today it got out of that committee, and I believe it will be voted on by the entire Senate on Monday. So hopefully we will have, again, a double header in that the Senate will also vote to oppose. There was a very, very strong statement that was made as they released it from committee. So anticipation that it will be a very bipartisan deal, and the Senate will also support us. So that's where we are. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for all your hard work.
Yes,
Appreciate
thank you
your
for
hard work.
everything.
The batteries go out fast.
I'll speak to my teacher voice on.
A different mic.
No, it needs to get into the recording.
These batteries don't last very long.
No.
Verbatim.
This-
You have to say that all over again, verbatim.
Yeah.
Unless maybe they're being left.
That's possible, too.
Drawing them.
That's better.
Thank you. Elaine Dalsky, 21 Winfield Drive in Parsippany. I also wanted to extend a thank you, which we hope will be your support in passing this pipeline. It will prevent any future oil pipelines in Parsippany and will provide a safe environment for families and children to come. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Hi, Anita Shotwell, Wildlife Preserves, 950 Edwards Road. Wish to add our support to the ordinance, and we're hopeful that this would offer some measure of protection for the residents who wish to protect their property from the threat of intrusion from pipeline companies, including Pilgrim Pipeline, that wishes to put a 1.6-mile stretch directly through Troy Meadows natural area. We just wish to thank the council for the introduction of the ordinance and hopefully passing of the ordinance, and for your efforts to protect Parsippany-Troy Hills from the intrusion of unsolicited pipelines like this.
Thank you. Okay, see no one else come forward. Entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Make a motion. Second.
Motion made by Mr. Stanton, seconded by Mr. Paluso. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Whereas the above ordinance was read in title on second reading and hearing held thereon, now therefore be it resolved said ordinance be passed on final reading, that a notice of final passage of said ordinance be published in the newspaper according to law.
Motion by Mr. Stanton.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Paluso. Roll call.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Mr. Paluso?
Yes.
Mr. Stanton?
Yes.
Mr. Karifi?
Yes. Mr. DePiero.
Ordinance 2015:11, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 290, Parks, Recreation Areas, and Public Lands, Article 2, Use Regulations, Permit Requirements of the Code of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills. The notice for the ordinance above was published in the Daily Record, the official newspaper of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills, on May 27, 2015. Motion to accept that ordinance.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. DePiero, seconded by Mr. Stanton. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This time entertain a motion to open up the public hearing on
So
this
moved.
ordinance. This ordinance only. Mr. DePiero, seconded by Mr. Stanton. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? See no one come forward. Entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. DePiero, seconded by Mr. Stanton. All in
What-
favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Whereas the above ordinance was read in title on second reading and the hearing held thereon, now therefore be it resolved that said ordinance be passed on final reading, and that a notice of final passage of said ordinance be published in the newspaper according to law. Motion to approve the resolution.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. DePiero, seconded by Mr. Stanton. Roll call.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Mr. Paluso?
Yes.
Mr. Stanton?
Yes.
Mr. Karifi?
Yes. Mr. Paluso?
Ordinance number 2015:12, an ordinance amending and supplementing sections 86-3, amusement machines, and A445-4, amusement games of the Code of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills in the County of Morris, New Jersey. The notice for the ordinance was published in the Daily Record, the official newspaper of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills, on May 28, 2015. Motion to accept that ordinance 2015:12 to be heard in its second and final reading by title only.
Motion by Mr. Paluso, seconded by Mr. DePiero. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? At this time, entertain a motion to open up a public hearing on this ordinance only.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Paluso.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. DePiero. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? See no one come forward. Entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Paluso, seconded by Mr. DePiero. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Whereas the above ordinance was read in title on second reading and a hearing held thereon, now therefore be it resolved that the said ordinance be passed on final reading, and that a notice of final passage of said ordinance be published in the newspaper according to law. Motion to approve the resolution above.
Motion made by Mr. Paluso.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. DePiero. Roll call.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Mr. Paluso?
Yes.
Mr. Stanton?
Yes.
Mr. Karifi?
Yes.
At this time, I'd like to make a motion that we table ordinance number 2015:13.
Until the next regular meeting.
Okay, till next regular meeting.
Motion made by Mr. Stanton.
What's the reason for it?
There was a technical issue with the ordinance that needs to be reviewed by administration.
Is that sufficient, Councilman?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Okay, motion made by Mr. Stanton.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. DePiero. Roll call.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Mr. Paluso?
Yes.
Mr. Stanton?
Yes.
Mr. Karifi?
Yes. Mr. DePiero.
Ordinance 2015:14, an ordinance establishing salary ranges for police superior officers of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills. The notice for the ordinance above was published in the Daily Record, the official newspaper of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills, on May 28, 2015. Motion to accept that ordinance.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. DePiero, seconded by Mr. Stanton. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
This time entertain a motion to open up the public hearing on this ordinance only.
So moved.
Motion made by
Second.
Mr. DePiero, seconded by Mr. Stanton. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? See no one come forward. Entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. DePiero, seconded by Mr. Stanton. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Whereas the above ordinance was read in title on second reading and a hearing held thereon, now therefore be it resolved that said ordinance be passed on final reading, and that a notice of final passage of said ordinance be published in the newspaper according to law. Motion to approve the resolution.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. DePiero, seconded by Mr. Stanton. Roll call.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Mr. Paluso?
Yes.
Mr. Stanton?
Yes.
Mr. Karifi?
Yes. Mr. Paluso?
Ordinance number 2015:15, an ordinance establishing salary ranges for patrolmen of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills, PBA. The notice for the ordinance above was published in the Daily Record, the official newspaper of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills, on May 28, 2015. Motion to accept that ordinance 2015:15 to be heard in its second and final reading by title only.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Paluso, seconded by Mr. DePiero. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This time entertain a motion to open up the public hearing on this ordinance only.
Motion.
Motion
Second.
made by Mr. Paluso, seconded by Mr. DePiero. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? See no one come forward, entertain a motion to close the public hearing on this ordinance.
Motion.
Motion made by Mr.
Second.
Paluso, seconded by Mr. DePiero. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Whereas the above ordinance was read in title on second reading and a hearing held thereon, now therefore be it resolved that the said ordinance be passed on final reading and a notice of the final passage of said ordinance be published in the newspaper according to law. Motion to approve the resolution above.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Paluso, seconded by Mr. DePiero. Roll call.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Mr. Paluso?
Yes.
Mr. Stanton?
Yes.
Mr. Karifi?
Yes. Okay, at this time, I'll entertain a motion to open up the public hearing.
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. DePiero, seconded by Mr. Stanton. Roll call.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Mr. Paluso?
Yes.
Mr. Stanton?
Yes.
Mr. Karifi?
Yes. If you wish to speak, please come up to the mic, sign in, state your name and address. You'll be given 5 minutes.
You know what I mean? I'd like to. Only one motion. So that's why I'm not gonna.
Nick Homiak, Lake Hiawatha. The sewerage fees, are they going up? Is that what that, I have to, can anybody give a brief
Ask all your
summary?
questions first and
Yeah,
then
just,
I'll-
Say again?
Is that,
I'll wait when he's done. If he
Yeah.
wants to keep
do you have any other
asking
questions, or is that your only question?
We're not going to interact the conversation, so finish what
Right.
you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, just say.
I have a paper here concerning the Westbrook Farms with some interactive maps, and it's another encouragement not to buy the property. Property's in a flood zone. It's a wetland. It's already protected. It was never on any historic list. There isn't any such thing as something coming on and off a historic list, as Councilman DiPiero said. So that's, I don't understand. It's a beautiful property, but you're buying the actual 3 acres, which is surrounded by a wetland. So I don't know the property status of the surrounding riparian zone or forest or anything. But if you'll look at these maps, you'll see even if someone does buy the property, they're limited by the wetlands protections. The most that they could do is maybe replicate the house that's on the property now. So I just don't understand, like, why you would want to buy property in a flood zone. And like I said, it was never a farm because it has to be a minimum 5 acres even to be a farm. So it was never really a farm. It is a beautiful area, but it's already protected, and we shouldn't be wasting our money on it. And if you look at these maps, it'll help you see what I'm talking about here.
Interesting.
And not for anything, but I happened to walk into that UPS meeting last night for the planning board. I was looking on the internet what the agenda was. I didn't see any agenda. Apparently, I'm too late because I didn't participate in the redevelopment for the town. I guess you have to have an eye in the back of your head. But I would never suspect that the town would be calling redevelopment, which is really going to be land development, because they need sewers, they need infrastructures. And if you walk that property, the block 136, lot 43, it's like a nice wetland that's going to disappear for an office, logistics, or data center. But UPS refused to answer my question why they need a new office. And all that's going to occur is they're going to bring 715 employees from Paramus into Parsippany. And they're going to have a parking lot for 1,002 cars. But in an area already saturated with vacant office space, that's another surprise to me. Like, do we really need more office space? But I'm disappointed I didn't have the opportunity because, like I said, you need an eye in the back of your head because they don't really make it real known, you have to go out of your way. But I don't know if I would have had any influence, but if you look at the criteria for what redevelopment is supposed to be, according to the state itself, I have to say that it doesn't meet the criteria for real redevelopment. So I'd like to leave you with this paper, and I'm just sorry to hear that we're getting another office space in Parsippany, and don't be surprised somewhere down the line something happens at that office and you have another vacant office space minus the natural resource that's there forever lost.
Okay. Nick, if you could just give that to Yancy, and then...
You know what, Nick? I'd like to answer your question. The purpose of the amendment of the sewer ordinance is not related to residential. It's just the establishment of a fee for treating wastewater not yet on our fee schedule.
And Nick, when you get a chance, if you could just take that. I thought of you today, and just want you to have this. Yes, this is...
Are fees going up for less use? Is that what I see there? But it doesn't affect...
No. This is not a residential situation.
Yeah. All right. Nick,
Okay. She has that for you.
I have something for you.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just, I think they're more concerned that it was...
Roy Messmer, 10 Drumlin Drive. I just want to share with everybody what I made a phone call yesterday to the New Jersey Department of Insurance to inquire about the regulations regarding self-insurance. There are no regulations.
Oh.
Not good. And a couple of people got on the phone with me, and I said, "You've got to be kidding me. You have no regulations." So I said, "To the best of your knowledge, how many towns are self-insured?" We don't know. So unless I was speaking to a real doomcuff, somebody from this administration should call up, because that really worried me. I know that the administration and Ann has and Ellen have told me that you're going to look into setting up the trust fund and everything else. I'm still very, very uncomfortable, ladies and gentlemen. Where is all this money based on our great claim loss records the last couple of years? But I do want to ask the administration here tonight, how did you come up with a reduction of $500,000 in the insurance line item expense this year? Who did that calculation?
Do you have any other questions?
I just want, no question, but let me make this point. The 2% that I brought up Friday night, Ellen, and
yes, I'm sorry.
I know the mayor's not here.
Yeah.
I would like to see that you take a department that's got, say, direct labor cost of $500,000. I'm just using a simple example.
Yeah.
2%. That department head does not give across the board 2%. Some people might be entitled to 3%. Some people might be entitled to 0%. I don't know under the civil service law if you can reduce somebody's salary. Probably not.
That's the
I don't like it across the board. I don't think it's right to the people that are doing a lot better. Exactly. It's not the American way.
That would be a merit raise. You know, that's
No, the 2%.
No, I'm saying that's how you could give somebody going above and beyond. So.
Well, okay, that was my next question.
Yeah.
I got the merit raise list today, but it doesn't break it out for me by person. It's 64. It's just by department, and I don't think that's fair to the public. I said this, everything else in the budget we get to see. I do not understand why we cannot see how the administration came up with, I have it right here, each department, and who is getting the merit raises. So I have a little bit, my time's almost up?
2:30.
Okay, 2:30. Ellen, have you checked into, did I get the right information from the Department of Insurance? I'm done, so
you're done?
I'm
Okay.
done.
Oh, okay. Okay.
About the self-insurance, what are the regs on it?
I guess I would defer to, I'm shocked, I'm just as shocked as you are.
Yeah.
Because for most of my career, I have only been involved in, we've had the state health benefit plans, so, we weren't self-insured. But as luck would have it, ironically today, we did have a meeting with all our insurance people as well as with our auditor and finance and Paula, who's the liaison to insurance. So we definitely drilled down into safety and coverage and how to protect Parsippany and the funds that we do not invest or have available to pay pay the claims. So it was a very productive meeting, and there's some takeaways that will be addressed, and we'll report at another time, perhaps the July meeting. Paula can make a report as to the things, and Ann can also make the report that how we're establishing that truly a safety net for the insurance. And Ann, if you want to answer the other question. Yeah.
Okay, on the 500,000, we had a reduction in insurance premiums this year because we had good experience. I know that sounds bizarre for most, but in self-insurance, they do budget to the top, and we do the best we can with that. However, our top exposure, so to speak, is actually lower than it was last year. Because of good experience, we still are budgeting to the top. Do you have any other thing to say? No. What's that? Yes, that's exactly right. Because last year, it was, again, what the estimate is at the top exposure. We were at that last year, or 14. This year, we're lower. It actually went down, the premiums. Well, the exposure. So we went down 500,000. It is not. It's still very conservative.
No, it's just Roy. It's just relative to how our claims are running, and they were running in a very favorable manner. That we were able to get our reduction. You know that. No, that's a real reduction in terms of what our premium is, based on the fact that we're recommended. We don't pay a premium. It's a recommended budgeted amount that we should put aside based on how our claims ran in 2014, which were very well, and we also attribute that to also our wellness campaign.
Roy, can I just ask you, did you talk to someone in the insurance commission down there? Okay. Yeah, if I'd like that name. And the number.
Parsippany-Troy, 182 Hawkins Avenue. My questions tonight are just regarding the budget. I'd like to know how much we're using in open space money across the board on everything this year. If I can get an accounting of that.
On open space.
I want to know open space across the board. How much of our open space funds are we using in this year's budget? Across the board, every department, wherever it's going.
Okay.
The mayor was supposed to have an answer to a question about the North Beverwick Road today. He had told me Friday.
Okay.
Did he give you any insight? 200,000 grant, 400,000 being added for the taxpayers to pull up for the Bank of America, checking it out?
I'll wait till the end, and then before I'll get that. The mayor will come back in for that.
The sewer surplus, of course, I've been at this for years, but I see on the form you gave me last week, we're pulling in about $4 million from the other towns, anticipated anyway. I think we can afford to reduce the residential fees a bit, since we do have such an exact...
Oh, I can't answer you yet. Okay, go ahead.
An exorbitant amount.
Okay.
I guess with that sewer ordinance, is it the wording regarding whether it should be more towards commercial as residential? Because it doesn't really identify it being anything but for everybody.
I'll tell you.
Okay.
We have to wait.
Also, during the budget meeting, you're saying you're making a lot of funds up to put money into.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you need a lot of ordinances for that.
Well, okay. She can't really hear you.
Pat, can you repeat your
I'm
last?
sorry, Pat.
Yeah, you're saying she's talking about we're putting a lot of funds together.
We're putting you're trying to make funds now for certain things to have money laid over. Right?
Dedicated funds.
Dedicated.
Right, dedicated funds.
Reserves.
Right. And you're going to need ordinances and stuff to put those funds in place. Is that not what I heard?
There'll be, for example, for the insurance, there'll be a ordinance and then a resolution to do that. Yeah.
Okay.
There are some already established.
Yeah, I was going to say, how many are you making, and can we just make one and combine it? Combine all the names together.
Well, the whole point to those reserves is...
talking back and forth again.
Yeah, it's okay. Come on.
All right, go ahead.
It's the last one.
it's the last one. Good.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Go ahead.
It's
Go ahead.
just
I just
to
heard my
dedicate. We want to dedicate those that money specifically to a certain.
Right.
Yeah, so they have to be established for that purpose, and that's the reason why you do that dedication resolution. We want them to be in certain spots. It cannot be used for anything else. For example, the
Can we
insurance.
set up one ordinance listing
all of them?
All the funds, and you know what I'm saying? Instead of writing out 10 or 20 ordinances, that will cost us a lot more money.
Well, they only have to be done once, and in other words, it's already established. No, I'm serious. Would you like a list of the different reserves, perhaps, or the different dedication by rider? Am I saying that right?
Yeah, no, I think what Pat's trying to do is really save time and energy and, add it all.
I am up
and money, but the thing is, unfortunately, the state of New Jersey and our auditor and the way they review things do not allow it. They like it as standalone so they can look at it and put all the caveats that need to be in it. I'm with you, Pat. So is Ann. She's crazy.
We have
busy.
any we can copy from another town?
Oh, yeah, we always, I have, and I know they have too. We'll do that. But why recreate the wheel? I have an answer to with regard to the sewer, the fact that we are building back up surplus and fund balance for our sewer utility. That's one of the things I said when we talked about at the budget time. I said what Ann and I and Paula are going to be doing in the capital finance. Now that, as we move forward, we're going to take a look at all our debt structure and then take a look at how we want to draw down on that. And then definitely part of that review will be when we can give back something to the residents. But firstly, for the future, you want to make sure you're careful with what debt we have. And there's more debt than I would have imagined there should have been, based on the fact that some of that should have been paid pay as you go. Okay? And we're on that. But it has to be done properly, and that's the way you want us to do it. But we'll do it in an honest review, and start to see the flow of that number and say, hey, look at, hey, I know what was it, in 2012 you gave something back.
In residents received a 1.5 million give back. Actually, any user. Yep. It was it was a credit. It showed as a credit on your sewer bill. Yes.
Right. But we're talking about perhaps an analysis of maybe just taking it as this is what you pay for sewer gallonage in Parsippany. So that's in the works. It's on our agenda. One of the things that someone raised, and I thought it was you, we were talking about the Belgian block, and when I left here on Vale Road and why. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, okay. All right.
I could see him.
I mean, I'll do it under the administrator's report. So I thought you were connected to that too.
Pat, just real quick, as per the mayor, he still has to meet with Justin Leza before he could answer your question. Okay. He just came. I asked.
All right. Thank you. I'm sorry. I just knew that we hadn't talked at length. Okay. Thanks, Pat.
And Pat, let me just clarify your concern. That ordinance for the sewer fees is to amend a specific treatment of wastewater that is not currently on our list. This is separate from domestic wastewater that a resident produces or any of our commercial properties. This is a specific, the township takes in trucked-in waste, gray water, sludge, all different types of waste. This is another just added waste to that fee schedule that we don't have. So we need that ordinance to establish that. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pat.
Hi, Nick Amburis, Philadelphia Road, Lake Parsippany, New Jersey. Just 3 quick points. One, on the self-insurance. My company itself is self-insured, and it's great that we have a buffer and everybody was well, but did I hear that you guys had lowered the premiums? My question is, or my statement would be, if
we have to wait.
The premiums go lower, and God forbid something catastrophic happens, and now you have to dip in, you have to raise premiums. If you maintain them steady, it's easier to accommodate that. And people who are on a budget, typically, if they're used to paying one thing and then it jumps higher, it's harder to cope than just on that steady pace. So I would recommend that there would be no reductions, but it would maintain steadiness.
Yeah.
Because, you know, God forbid anything can happen, and that $500,000 can, you know, go in a heartbeat. My wife was in an accident, and I see the medical bills, you know, going up. So that's only my, you know, from my experience, that's what I had on that. The next question was with the horse farm. My daughter today saw a brochure for Kentucky. She wants to go horseback riding. So she's like, Daddy, you know, when can I go horseback riding? I'm personally in favor of it. And in a conversation I had outside after the meeting, my recommendation is, I mean, they're saying we can bring people in and they would rent the space and they would give us a portion. I think before we can make it a full decision, we need to know how much of that is going to offset. If it'll pay for itself, then absolutely. I mean, it's something we can definitely go forward with. But, you know, if it's going to, you know, only pay a small portion and then we're going to have this white elephant, then that's something we need to reconsider. And then the last thing was last week we talked about the development on Smith Road with the 52 units in exchange for the 152 acres. And my two questions were, did we find any other new information about taking that property under possession? And two, you know, what's the status of the, you know, if it's a lead-infested watershed due to the iron mines or the iron factory, who would be responsible for that remediation?
Okay. The first question.
Okay, I will answer your question with regard to, one thing to keep in mind is that as a self-insured entity, we don't pay a premium like you would pay your car insurance. You pay a premium or, you know, we budget a certain amount based on how our claims are running, and absolutely correct. We are conservative, we're government, we don't take risk. So yes, we have to plan for, and that budget number is lower based on how our claims run, but also built in there is the understanding that there might be an issue like that, because we certainly don't want to come back and spike up that cost. So, you know, that's the reason for that. And that's how we budget, that. Yeah, so thank you, and you're absolutely right.
We had no increase this year, God bless. It wasn't, everybody was nice and healthy.
And we didn't say reducing it because of that.
That's not how it worked.
Okay.
Okay, no, and yes, so that's, and then.
How about his question about the acquiring that land?
Okay, the Forge Pond property. John, would you like to answer that question?
I'll take a look at the agreement again. It's been some time.
Yeah, it's been a while. I don't recall.
And the pony farm? The horse farm?
What was that question?
I mean, I think.
Oh, no, I guess that was more of a
I think it was more like a statement that you were excited to take your daughter horseback riding. Right. I believe.
I mean,
you know, when we acquire property that, you know,
I mean, I don't know, Councilman Peluso, do you want to talk a little bit? I mean, it sounds fun, and you got this information from the county.
It's an opportunity to be a revenue generator for the property if the property is purchased. You know, some information was obtained from the Morris County Park System on how they actually lease back their property to a stable owner, and how the stable owner does pay for the pony rides, and a percentage of it does go back to the municipality with a monthly fee. That's up to the administration to put that out to bid and to you know, secure bids and see what the profitability is.
All right, so that would be good to know to offset whatever cost it might incur.
Hopefully it would, yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, seeing no one else come forward, entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Make a motion.
Motion made by Mr. Stanton.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. DePiero. Roll call.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Mr. Peluso?
Yes.
Mr. Stanton?
Yes.
Mr. Karifi?
Yes. Consent agenda, Mr.
Consent agenda. Be it resolved, all items listed with an asterisk are considered to be routine, non-controversial by the Township Council, be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless the council member so requests, which case the item be removed from the consent agenda, considered in its normal sequence on the agenda.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Stanton, seconded by Mr. DePiero. Roll call.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Mr. Peluso?
Yes.
Mr. Stanton?
Yes.
Mr. Karifi?
Yes. Mr. Snyder, Township Office Report.
Real quickly, because I know you're all getting bored.
No, it's unusual to get a lot of at this time of the meeting.
A couple of questions. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Lee, can you hear me?
Yes.
Good. A couple of issues have come up on the sweeping this year. and it's really been 2 years in a row that it's been rough for me and my men, to be honest with you. As you know, we haven't run out. I've always kept a minimum supply, but we've had a nightmare getting salt supplies into New Jersey in total. We had to, with DEP's approval, we had to go to a mixture of grit and so forth. So on the roads, and many of you have called my office, some of you thanking me that it's completed, some thanking me for not hurrying up and doing the street. But we should have everybody done. If you're not done by at least have one pass on your street, you should have another pass within the next couple of weeks. There was an issue that came up at the last council meeting that said, how many sweepers do I actually have? I keep running, when I can, 3 sweepers. Unfortunately, this goes back to after Mr. Priority's term here, but we have a 95 and a 97 sweeper and a 2005. The 95 sweeper has just gone bad on me. So I'm buying a new one. You'll see a bid in the next couple of weeks for a new machine.
We have it on for the agenda for this evening. Yes,
one,
because
yeah. Okay.
it's important.
So,
the next agenda? Okay.
That should help. Again, if you can understand grit on the road, when you're just doing a regular sweeping, all you're picking up is excess branches and leaves. When you're picking up grit, you're picking up 10 times more tons of material than you would be. So these trucks, these sweepers are coming back to the yard, dumping, going back and forward. So it's taken, the last 2 years have taken us a long time. We've learned a lot. The third sweeper I'm getting now is a different model where we'll be able to dump the unit into dump trucks. They raise up in the air and go in, so I don't have to send the units back and forward to the yard. They can just put a dump truck up in whatever position in the town, powder mill, etc., and just dump right in it without having to bring it back down here. I've also made available, and I'll give a copy to the council members tonight, I've also got a sweeping schedule. This is the one that we normally do. And I say the word normally, which is very unusual for me, that nothing is normal. Fridays, we do the main streets and all the parking lots in town. Whatever the sanitation recycling schedule is in this town, and if you would like that, please call my office and we'll send one out to you. Whatever that schedule is, the sweepers work opposite it. So in other words, if the garbage is being picked up in Powder Mill and so forth, chances are that the sweepers are working in the Hiawatha, Druid Hill area and so forth and so on. Is it easy to keep a schedule with sweepers? No, it's not. But we don't start until April. We end in November. We can't keep these machines running in the wintertime because they freeze up and so forth and so on. So just for everybody, if you have any questions, if you have any complaints, let me put it this way. If you have issues, you see streets that need to be done, you know my office. Many of you have my personal number in the office. I hate those people that call me. And just so, please call me because I, per the mayor and per the council, anybody who calls me, if they have an issue with somebody who needs a street, you know, really done well, I'll take care of it right away for you. But anyway, we've made progress. We should be done with the whole town by the 1st of July. And when the new sweeper comes in, I think the ability for us to clean the streets quicker will certainly happen. So,
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Well.
Okay.
There's, in addition to that, there is more good news that we were talking last time that we thought we had to put money aside. It's in the capital budget in the 2014 budget, so the thing is all set up. So we'll be getting that one rather turn around quickly.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. DePiero.
Ordinance for introduction, ordinance 2015:16. An ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills, County of Morris, State of New Jersey, authorizing a lease agreement between the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills and the National Institute for People with Disabilities of New Jersey. Be it resolved that the above ordinance be introduced, read by title, and passed on first reading at a meeting of the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills held on June 16, 2015, and that said ordinance be further considered for second reading and final passage at a meeting to be held on July 14, 2015, at 7:30 p.m. prevailing time, or as soon thereafter as the matter may be reached at the municipal building in said township, at which time all persons interested shall be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance. Be it further resolved that the clerk be authorized and directed to advertise said ordinance, with the notice of introduction thereof being published in the official newspaper according to law. Motion to approve the above resolution.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. DePiero, seconded by Mr. Paluso. Roll call.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Mr. Paluso?
Yes.
Mr. Stanton?
Yes.
Mr. Karifi?
Yes. Mr. Paluso.
Ordinance 2015:17, an ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills, County of Morris, State of New Jersey, authorizing a license agreement between the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills and Little League Football, Inc. Be it resolved that the above ordinance be introduced, read by title, and passed on the first reading at a meeting of the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills held on June 16, 2015, that said ordinance be further considered for second reading and final passage at a meeting to be held on July 21, 2015 at 7:30 p.m. prevailing time, or as soon thereafter as the matter may be reached at the municipal building in said township, at which time all persons interested shall be given an opportunity to be heard concerning the said ordinance. Be it further resolved that the clerk be authorized and directed to advertise said ordinance with the notice of introduction thereof being published in the official newspaper according to law. Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Paluso, seconded by Mr. DePiero. Roll call.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Mr. Paluso?
Yes.
Mr. Stanton?
Yes.
Mr. Karifi?
Yes.
Ordinance 2015:18, Township Parsippany-Troy Hills, Morris County, New Jersey, calendar year 2015. Ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits to establish a cap bank, NJSA 48:4-45.14. Be resolved, said ordinance be introduced, read by title, passed on first reading at a meeting at Township Council, Township Parsippany-Troy Hills, held June 16, 2015. Said ordinance be further considered for a second reading and final passage at a meeting to be held July 14, 2015, 7:30 p.m. Prevailing time or soon thereafter as the matter may be reached at the municipal building said township, which time all persons interested shall be given opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance. Be it further resolved, said clerk be authorized, directed to advertise said ordinance with the notification of introduction thereof being published in the official newspaper according to law.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Stanton, seconded by Mr. DePiero. Roll call.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Mr. Paluso?
Before I vote, I just want to say that I do not want a tax hike that would exceed our cap due to a loophole in the cap bank. I vote no.
Mr. Stanton?
Yes.
Mr. Karifi?
Yes. Mr. DePiero?
Resolution 2015-113, resolution of the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills authorizing the 2015 municipal budget be read by title only. Motion to approve the above resolution.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. DePiero, seconded by Mr. Stanton. Roll call.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Mr. Paluso?
Yes.
Mr. Stanton?
Yes.
Mr. Karifi?
Yes. Mr. Paluso?
Resolution 2015-114, resolution of the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills authorizing the self-examination of the 2015 municipal budget. Motion to approve the above resolution.
Motion made by Mr. Paluso.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. DePiero. Roll call.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Mr. Paluso?
Yes.
Mr. Stanton?
Yes.
Mr. Karifi?
Yes.
Resolution 2015-115, 2015 municipal budget, introduction.
Motion made by Mr. Stanton.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. DePiero. Roll call.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes to the introduction of the budget, but I have a statement to make. I'd like to say that the Township Council has a responsibility to protect our bond ratings, avoid a cap issue, and address the need for maintaining a responsible fund balance for the current fund. The municipal budget is a multi-year process and should not be looked at as a single document. All this council did was kick the can down the road to make themselves look better this year. I vote yes.
Mr. Paluso?
As a responsibility to the taxpayers and having fiduciary responsibility to ensure our taxes are maintained and decreased, I vote yes.
Mr. Stanton?
Yes.
Mr. Karifi?
Yes. Mr. DePiero?
Resolution 2015-116, resolution of the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills granting a major soil moving permit to Wood Hollow Properties, LLC, 4, Wood Hollow Road, Block 736.1, Lot 4. Motion to approve the above resolution.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. DePiero, seconded by Mr. Stanton. Roll call.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Mr. Paluso?
Yes.
Mr. Stanton?
Yes.
Mr. Karifi?
Yes. Applications?
Applications, Resolution 2015-117, resolution of the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany-Troy Hills approving a new limousine license for RNS Executive LLC. Motion to approve the above resolution.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Paluso, seconded by Mr. DePiero. Roll call.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Mr. Paluso?
Yes.
Mr. Stanton?
Yes.
Mr. Karifi?
Yes. This time entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Take a motion.
Motion made by Mr. Stanton.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. DePiero. Roll call.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Mr. Paluso?
Yes.
Mr. Stanton?
Yes.
Mr. Karifi?
Yes. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.